All right, we're discussing all things planting and such with Emerson Wells. She is from Guilford County's Cooperative Extension Office. All right, so let's talk about this. What is the ideal spacing for tomato plants?
Absolutely. So if we're thinking about the distance in between plants, tomatoes are about 18 inches apart. That's big viney plants. They get a lot bigger than they may look when you first get transplants. So definitely you want to give them some space.
Okay, this person is talking about some varmints. How do I keep squirrels off my Granny Smith tree? I know you and I were talking in the break about all the pests and things that could be coming into our gardens this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So squirrels are tough. They like to hang out in your spaces. In terms of getting them off trees, it's a little tricky. We got to think about that. Also, our space we share with wildlife, and that includes squirrels. If they pose a problem, and it's something like bird feeders or anything that kind of attracts them to your space, you can try to eliminate and just kind of create a more hospitable environment, unhospitable environment. Other pests you might run into your garden this summer are also cicadas. Cicadas are going to be a big thing. As we know, we have both the 13 and 17-year emergent coming up, and it's important to know that cicadas, unlike other pests or squirrels, are no harm to humans and pets. Most people should not be concerned about cicadas damaging their plants, and those older established plants will show minimal damage with some flagging of like the terminal branches possible, but that only occurs when cicadas feed on those woody stems tissues and deposit their eggs. Younger trees that have just been planted might show more damage because they're just not as established or don't have that large canopy. But if you do have a high value tree in your home, or you are worried about cicada pressure, the best form of management is just kind of exclude that pressure through bird netting over those specimens, those plants, to prevent that feeding or laying of eggs, and preventing that dieback of the scaffolding branches.
Okay. All right.
I know
So go ahead.
Another pest we talked about are ticks as well. So tick season, just like poison ivy, is upon us. And so when we're thinking about ticks, we want to avoid those overgrown weedy areas. Ticks like that moist soil and tall grass and weeds before finding their hosts. So make sure you keep those areas mowed and trim to cut down on tick pressure. Check your body, check your clothing. If you have pests that come into your living spaces, check your dog, those sort of things. And the Guilford County Division of Public Health is actually partnering with NC State to distribute free tick collection kits, and inviting the citizens of Guilford County to join the community as scientists for a study on documenting tick species encountered in the state. So while you're gardening, if you run into a tick, if you find a tick on you or are bitten by one, get in contact with your physician and with Guilford County Public Health if you want to opt into that study.
Gotcha. Okay. This person's saying, I've read that a vinegar solution will kill poison ivy or poison oak. Is this true? Is that what I should be using?
For vinegar, I'm not quite sure. With home remedies, it kind of depends on the person. Vinegar is acidic, so that can be a little bit harsh on a already reaction on the body. Thinking about poison ivy, most people opt for a calming lotion to kind of like ease any irritation you may have on your skin.
Okay, someone is asking a follow-up question about the grass clippings. They're like, you leave them on the lawn or you remove them?
Either. So you can leave them on your lawn to kind of, they'll, as they decompose, will add nutrients back into your lawn. If you think about it, your lawn gets a lot of impact from constant mowing, and that sort of thing. So when we're thinking about adding soil organic matter into your gardens or into your lawns, adding soil organic matter can help improve your soil texture, and other physical properties of your lawn. So if that's not something that bothers you, it's generally not harmful to leave your lawn clippings on your lawn.
Okay. Someone's asking about the most productive tomato and how often should tomato plants be watered?
What's that last part? I'm sorry.
The most productive tomato plant, I guess the one that yields the most or that's easiest, and how often should tomato plants be watered?
Yeah, so for most productive tomato, for North Carolina, I'm not quite sure. It really depends on the environment that it is in, depending on your sun, where you're located, the soil you have. your soil health can all impact productivity. The weather in the next 2 weeks could impact the productivity of your plant. When you're thinking about watering tomatoes in particular, an important thing is to just not overwater. You don't want to create some type of situation where there could be some type of root rot or just too much moisture held in the soil. So when thinking about watering plants, especially if they're outside, think about not in raised beds. If you're doing row cropping, you might have a pretty clay-based heavy soil. And when thinking about tomatoes or vegetables in general, that water holding capacity of the clay may just make your soil a bit more moist. So again, just check with your finger if it seems about an inch deep, or by the root systems. If it seems moist, your tomatoes probably in a pretty good spot. Also, generally, tomatoes will tell you. So if your leaves look wilted, or if there's been some really heavy heat in the last few days, definitely give your plants water.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we thank you for your time and your expertise. If you guys missed any of this, this is going to be posted in the Who Wants to Know section of our website.